Our modern lives are dominated by plastic. It's cheap, durable and convenient, but this dependence on plastic has come at a steep price. We are producing an enormous amount of plastic waste. Much of it ends up polluting our environment, particularly our oceans and rivers. This plastic doesn't just disappear, it breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces, eventually becoming microplastics. These tiny particles are now found everywhere, from the deepest oceans to the food we eat. They represent a silent invasion, a threat to our planet and our health. We must understand the scale of this problem. We must learn about the dangers of microplastics. And most importantly, we must take action to stop the flow of plastic into our environment. Our future and the future of our planet depends on it. Microplastics are tiny pieces of plastic, less than 5 millimeters in size. They are often too small to be seen with the naked eye. But don't let their size fool you, their impact is enormous. There are two main sources of microplastics, primary and secondary. Primary microplastics are tiny particles designed for specific purposes. Examples include microbeads in cosmetics and industrial abrasives. These are released directly into the environment, often from wastewater treatment plants. Secondary microplastics originate from the breakdown of larger plastic items. This happens due to sunlight, wind and wave action. Plastic bottles, bags and fishing nets slowly fragment into smaller and smaller pieces, becoming microplastics. These microplastics are now ubiquitous. They are found in our oceans, soil, air and even the food we consume. They represent a silent threat, their long-term impact on our health and the environment still being fully understood. Microplastics have infiltrated our food chain, reaching our plates and even the water we drink. Studies show the presence of microplastics in seafood. Fish and shellfish often ingest microplastics, mistaking them for food. This means that humans who consume seafood are also ingesting these tiny plastic particles. Microplastics are also found in our drinking water, both bottled and tap water. They contaminate our fruits, vegetables and crops, entering the human food chain through agricultural produce. Even common table salt has been found to contain microplastics. The long-term health consequences of ingesting microplastics are still being researched. However, studies on marine life show that microplastics can cause physical harm, disrupt endocrine systems, and lead to starvation in animals. These findings raise serious concerns about the potential impact of microplastics on human health. Section 4. A Planet in Peril: The Wide-Reaching Impact of Microplastics. The impact of microplastics on our planet is far-reaching and devastating. Marine life is particularly vulnerable. Microplastics are often mistaken for food by marine animals, leading to starvation, entanglement, and internal injuries. These tiny particles can absorb and concentrate pollutants present in the water. When ingested by marine life, they can transfer harmful chemicals into the food chain, posing a risk to both animals and humans. Microplastics are now found in all corners of our planet. They pollute our oceans, contaminate our soil, and are even carried by the wind, reaching remote areas like the Arctic. The presence of microplastics in these pristine environments underscores the severity of this global pollution crisis. Section 5. Turning the tide: Actionable Solutions for a Plastic-Free Future. The fight against microplastic pollution demands a multi-pronged approach. We need to reduce our reliance on single-use plastics. This can be done by choosing reusable alternatives like cloth bags, metal straws, and refillable water bottles. Support for companies and organizations promoting sustainable packaging and plastic alternatives is crucial. We must encourage innovation in biodegradable and compostable materials. Proper waste management is essential. This includes supporting recycling initiatives and advocating for better waste disposal systems. Education and awareness about the dangers of plastic pollution are key to driving change at an individual and societal level. Section 6. Our Collective Responsibility. A call to action against microplastic pollution. The fight against microplastic pollution is a shared responsibility. Governments, industries, and individuals must work together to address this crisis. We need stronger regulations on plastic production and use. We need investment in research and development of alternative materials. And most importantly, we need a fundamental shift in our consumption habits. Every action counts. By making conscious choices in our daily lives, by supporting sustainable practices, and by advocating for change, we can turn the tide against microplastic pollution. The future of our planet and the well-being of generations to come depend on our actions today.